was it 2017 that you had like a really bad accident? You had
Yes, New Year's Eve 2017, and then pretty much 18, 19 was 2 years of, uh, multiple surgeries and coming back, and then it was basically, 2020, missed Olympic selection, dove straight into full-time mountain biking, and it's only really been from sort of 2021 now to 2024 that I've just invested that time to mountain biking, and that's equated to world first front flips, to 2 Queen of Crankworx titles, um, and then now with, like, slopestyle and being a part of SMB and, yeah, landing all these now superwoman seat grab Indian airs and claiming some new tricks, renaming them.
um, I mean, what so so that was like 3 years of pretty much being sidelined or
Yeah. Yeah, because there was so many complications with it. So I had an off-road vehicle accident,
Mhm.
New Year's Eve, a friend was driving and rolled it down a fire road. I ended up going under it, caught the roll cage, and as the vehicle flipped over me, so it was like a Can-Am, as it rolled over me, fortunately, it went back onto 4 wheels, but if it had stayed on its roof, like, it would have pinched me and I'd be dead. So there's a lot of factors that I'm super grateful that I'm still here and alive.
Mhm.
Fact that I grabbed the roll cage, everything went slow-mo, like, I've had so many crashes in my career that I pulled my head back and the lights broke my nose on the way through, and I, like, grabbed the roll cage and I benched it as hard as it could, and I just, like, I remember that feeling of, like, yeah, heard my sternum crack, felt the pressure, like, I was winded, never regained, like, a breath, so I was like,
Mhm.
"Okay, that's probably lungs." I kinda knew, instantly, I was like, "Oh, this is not good." Like,
Mhm.
um, yeah, so it was, like, 45 minutes away from a rural hospital, which couldn't do lung drains and things like that, so it was 45 minutes to a rural hospital, which my friend did, like, a guided meditation the entire way and, like, focused on my breathing. Luckily, that
Wow.
kept me from going into cardiac arrest, it kept me alive. So as my double pneumothorax, so punctured and collapsed lungs were bleeding out, my heart wall was also punctured and that was bleeding out in my lungs. My sternum was broken, my nose was broken. I was in this really, like, hectic state of control your breathing, control everything. Otherwise, like, you're gonna go into cardiac arrest and probably not be here today. So, yeah, focus on my breathing, got to that hospital, then I had to
So
wait
gnarly.
until the ambulance came to get me to the City Hospital of Canberra. Finally went into all those surgeries, and then, yeah, I remember, like, not really being very conscious for, like, 4 or 5 days in ICU, and then that 2-year block of recovery consisted in, like, having a sternum surgery that was like at first they were like, "Oh, maybe it'll heal." It was like this. They're like, "Maybe it'll heal." And then 4 months later, they're like, "Oh, there's still like a centimeter gap. Maybe it's not gonna heal." So, a Australia's a little bit more of a conservative country, and I've kind
Mhm.
of learnt, like, you have to be your own doctor,
Yeah.
and you really have to manage, like, if you've got an injury, get second, third opinions, ask questions and really be on top of, like, it all and do your research. That was one thing I didn't do. I was like, just listen to the first surgeon, and when they're like, "Oh, don't get surgery," I was like, "Okay." And then, like, you're a pawn,
Mhm.
like, in a game of chess waiting, and then you lose time and you lose recovery. So, I always tell everyone now, like, when they go through injuries, get every scan possible, get
Mhm.
second, third opinions, do your research, look into all the areas and, like, understand. Don't just, like, listen to that first little bit of information, because that definitely set me back a lot. And then, um, it's a unique injury 'cause, it's mainly only, like, open heart surgeries that they would cut your sternum this way, and then they'd wire it closed.
Mhm.
So
That's so wild.
when you break your chest this way, there's no real system to, like, fix it.
Mhm.
So, it was a bit of a trial, like, Australia wouldn't do it, when I had to fly to California and I got surgeons over there to
No
fix this
way.
surgery, it was like 50% chance of mortality rate if, your sternum bone gets infected during this surgery because your lungs and your heart and all your organs, they lay on your sternum. So, um yeah,
Woo.
that's risk. And I think I remember going back to that time, I'm like, I want to be back on the bike again. I want to be alive. Like, I want to, there's so much more I want to live and achieve and like
Mhm.
that legacy and give back and inspire. And I think it just takes you to this like bigger part of what is life and what is like purpose. And um, yeah, so managed to survive 3 sternum surgeries, and the first plate broke, the second one, the bolts backed out, and the third time,
Oh, my
um,
life.
2 cardiothoracic surgeons were like, "All right, we're gonna plate it, we're gonna cable it, and we're gonna, like, bolt it. So we're gonna, like, three-way brace it." And they're like, "3rd and final time." And, yeah, luckily, like, it was that, 3rd and final surgery, it all healed and recovered, and then from there, it was a solid, I would say, 9 months recovery from that surgery. So yeah, it was virtually 2 years of my life just, like, questioning identity and, like, struggling with, yeah, all of the waves of depression and anxiety and, like, surviving, and you're like, how do you even get through this?" But it taught me, yeah, it taught me some of my greatest life lessons, and it acted as that platform to when I did come back to the sport and started Muay Thai fighting, really, like,
Mhm.
broke down not feeling, like, vulnerable, and you had to work through all these layers of, like, fear and trauma to get
Mhm.
back onto the bike, to get back onto that start line, and yeah, like, I think it was one of my greatest journeys, and also I think if anyone said, "What's your biggest career highlight?" I would say working back from that and getting back on the bike and putting myself back on that start line and just having, like, no excuses to what should have been a career-ending injury became one of the biggest platform and launching pads into such a diverse career now that if I didn't go through that, I don't think I wouldn't have the success or the mindset that I have now.
I think, yeah, it's incredible. If you guys enjoyed this clip, please like and subscribe. And to watch the full podcast, click the link in the description below.
That was iconic.